Hello everyone, it's your boy BlueBall1993 here. This week's Power Rankings video, there was a lot of upsets in the first week of the PCL. That's right, we're no longer the PCS, which was the Paladins Console Series. We're now the PCL, which is the Paladins Console League. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a league coming. The first 2 weeks are open bracket, and then the top 8 teams from each region on each console get split into 2 groups of 4. They play a round robin tournament in week 3. The top 2 teams from each group make it into the PCL, or the Paladins Console League, which means on every console, in every region, there'll be 4 teams in the league playing for 6 weeks in a round robin format to determine who gets to go to the next LAN. And the next LAN is indeed HRX 2018 again. Second time HRX will be happening this year due to them combining with DreamHack Atlanta. So a larger event, a larger venue, and a larger crowd potentially watching these console teams on the big stage for that world championship. Let's go ahead and kick off your power rankings after week 1. PS4, let's begin there. The number 1 team in the power rankings so far is the Oni Channers from North America. That consists of some names you might recognize: Atomic Boom, Sorrow, Tommy Jet, The Other Shutter, and QT Neal. This was basically just supposed to be a pickup team, but we do know that they beat Elevate in the finals. Now, it is a best of 1, and the finals are a best of 3 in this qualifying phase of the PCL, which no one's happy with, but we just have to deal with what has been given to us at this point. And Atomic Boom, Sorrow, Tommy Jet, and Q2 Neal all being released from the Elevate roster after the summer finals, where they came in second against the Xbox NA team Onslaught. So those 4 teamed up to make the Oni Channers and brought The Other Shutter, who some of you may even know as E-Knives, back. So that team's number 1 in the power rankings this week. Behind them is Elevate, and we'll talk about why the EU winning team is not in the top 2. It's Oni Channers beat Elevate. Elevate, I feel, is still the strongest team on PS4 across NA and EU. So right now, they did lose to Oni Channers. That's why Oni Channers is above them. Some recognizable veterans there. But Elevate still strong. Speaking of Elevate, they brought over some new players from Xbox to join Whoosh and Shu, who were the only 2 remaining on the roster after the releases. They brought over Emmett Payne, supposedly the best player on console. There's a few names that everyone throws around when that comes up. Another one of those names is Sir James Parker, who is on the lineup now. He was a sub for Tommy Jet at the LAN, but he is on their main roster now. They also brought over GR Crazy. Some of you may know him from the Elevate roster on Xbox NA, who won the first HRX event this year in January. And then they brought over their coach, who may even see playing time, King Ludex, or Ludex as most people know him. So I feel Elevate is the best team on PlayStation right now across NA and EU. Maybe they had a bad week and lost to the Oni Channers. Maybe they had a couple mistakes they made in the game. Oni Channers at number 1, Elevate at number 2. And third is the winner of PS4 EU Week 1, YCTG. They actually beat Flashpoint. Now, Flashpoint was using a guy who we thought was their sub, but apparently he's going to be main roster. There was also some issues with internet, I've been told, with some of the players on Flashpoint. So that could have been a huge a possibility and effect of the game. But right now, YCTG out in front. Patties, V-Clax, It's Beanie, It's Tito, owned by Atomics and Nasty Pro. Nasty Pro didn't play, so they used their sub for that. And Patties, apparently one of the most underrated DPSs on the console Paladin scene, let alone PS4 EU, which is mostly dominated by people like Prosper Logic, the Cultra Screds, the Good Lads, and the ITeeks. People of that nature. And Donka. But YCTG played great. They beat Flashpoint 2-0 in the finals, so they earned their third spot in the PS4 Power Rankings this week. Flashpoint, of course, still a strong team. Maybe the internet was a possible problem. I don't know. I wasn't in the game. Most of us weren't. Actually, none of us were, except for those on those two teams. Flashpoint, I still think, is a very strong team. I think they'll bounce back for week 2. If not, they'll make the league. I have no doubt in that. So Flashpoint is number 4. Number 5, FY Midnight Oligarchs. You may recognize this name. This team actually was the number 2 team in the EU region, but now they dropped down to number 3 with YCTG moving past them and Flashpoint at the same time. FY Midnight Oligarchs actually made a roster change during the offseason too. During the whole LAN situation, they brought in iTeek from Brutal Fissure, so that actually boosts their roster depth even better. He's one of the best players in the EU region, so big pickup for the Midnight Oligarchs. At number 6 is Despacito 2. This was a throw-together team, I've been being told. Topo Justice, which was the Great Ballsack. Roadhog Hooks, Mario, Areola, Victoria, and the Danilo. The Danilo is a very talented player from what I've seen. Roadhog Hooks, of course, one of the top front lines in NA's region. Ballsack, a good player. He's just been jumping around from team to team. Victoria, the healer, she's been grinding the game. She plays with a lot of these guys off scene too. So, she's got some chemistry there. So they're up there. They made it all the way to the semifinals, I believe. And the Nan Handlers at number 7, newer roster as well, but veteran players again. Schlurpy, who is commonly known as General in Chief, Arthur the God, Jordan, Roman Rulers, Dez, and Vengeance. They picked up Jordan right before the tournament, a day or two before the tournament, so that was a huge pickup. Before that, Roman Rulers and Dez were going to have to flex between the support role, but I think picking up Jordan, who could be potentially the best, if not second best, support in NA right now, was a huge successful pickup for them. And then we have Cryonatic at number 8 from the EU region. That's D-Jog, Max, Tony Badrov, the Exergen, Hellfi, Dylan, and Black Red Streak. 3 names that I know on that roster immediately is Black Red Streak, a great front line in itself. D-Jog, he's just a guy that I've seen in the community tons of times. Haven't really seen any of his play. And then the Exergen, Tony Badrov. Tony Badrov, great frontline. I think he can flex, so I think Black Red Streak will be the guy they'll be leaving on the front line most of the time. Good team. Problem is that they had to be DQ'd in the semifinals. I guess some mishap with the Discord messages, late responses between the admins and the players, and being due to them being in a game, they maybe were told or confused, play the wrong game against the wrong people. Anyways, they round out the PS4 at number 8 in the power rankings. Moving on to the Xbox side of things, we've got at number 1 is Vex Gaming. They are actually the only one of the 4 previous LAN teams that won their finals here in week 1, which was surprising, but not so much on Xbox. We'll talk about that here. Vex Gaming still the number 1 team. They went up against a really tough team in the finals. Swiper the One was actually on that team. My dad cuts my hair with Yui, Potent, Fanatics, and Wildcard, who was previously known as Lightning Pig. Good DPS in that guy. At number 2 is Vampire Lord. Vampire Lord, or XX Vampire Lord 64. Supposedly is the best Loki on the box. Anyways, they're at number 2. I think Vex Gaming is still a little stronger than them just because they're a returning LAN team winning their event. But Vampire Lord is actually a team put together most recently who beat Onslaught in their Xbox NA finals. That's Styles, Richie, Comedy, Kenichi, I think it is, and Hilltime. Hilltime, one of the best players in the game. Great EV, great DPS. He can actually flex to the tank as well, so that's awesome for them. Richie, arguably the best DPS on Paladins. He came to PS4, was playing for Onslaught on the PS4 NA side of things at Spring Masters. I think that was his first LAN. I think he performed very well there as a rookie at LANs. He had the guidance of Comedy as well, who's once again there for them again. But this time, Comedy's actually on the support role. He's flexed over to the support, and he's a very good support from what I've been told. I've seen a couple moments of his support gameplay on that stage, so I feel as if they'll be just fine with him right there. Kenichi, I don't really know who this is play-wise. Haven't seen any gameplay from them. I think they're fairly new to the scene. When you put them up against the rest of these people on the roster. And then you have Styles. Styles, just a great player, great tank, possibly the second best tank behind Trenzik in that NA Xbox region. Styles also was on that Elevate roster that won at HRX in January, so that's some veteran leadership. Comedy was on the opposing team in that matchup. Richie's been on a team with Comedy. Hilltime has been teamed with Comedy and Styles before, I believe. So I think this is a really good lineup, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how much success they can have against Onslaught and the other top Xbox teams on the NA side. Number 3 is My Dad Cuts My Hair. That's actually the team I was talking about against Vexed Gaming in the EU finals. That's Swiper, the one, Yui, Potent, Fanatics, and Wildcard. Wildcard, really good DPS. Potent is one of the top DPSs in the EU region that I've never heard of. So I can't wait until I see this guy's play. I do know he's only played in about 2 PCSs, so not much PCS experience there, but he's a very talented player from what I've been told. Yui, one of the best tanks in the region. I remember seeing tons of Yui plays in the PCS from when he was in there, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. Fanatics, arguably one of the best tanks on Xbox. He switched over to PS4 EU for some time. Didn't really work out, but he came back and he brought Swiper back with him as well. So Swiper's on that team as well. They look to be giving Vexed a run for their money. They lost 2-1, but they had limited time to prepare. So let's hope that they prepare and get ready for the next week 2. At number 4 is Onslaught. Onslaught's below these 3 teams. They lost the Vampire Lord. I think My Dad Cuts My Hair and Vexed are above them right now. Onslaught, maybe they're hitting that, when people win a championship or something in any sport, they have their parade. They get a little sluggish. Then they got to wake back up, Party's over, boys. Time to grind again, okay? So I think Onslaught, maybe they're just, a day or 2 more of celebrating than they should have. Congratulations to them again for the summer finals wins. Same lineup, Trenzik, Skeppy, Cool Matt, Wonderful, and Miracle. I'm looking forward to seeing them, they get beat on Xbox NA for the first time in 2 months. So maybe this will, jog them to work harder, to grind harder. Don't let off the gas pedal on anyone. And, maybe even change up the strats a little bit. I want to see how well they can adjust going into week 2. At number 5, is Curse These Hands. Curse These Hands is actually the Farmer GC lineup. I think they made one change. I'm not very sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's GC2MT, Kev Falcon, Bishop, Nasty Wolf, and Fluffy Koalix. They actually played with, I think, 2 subs today or the other day. So, shout out to the subs for being able to withstand all that beating. They actually came in third in the Xbox NA as well, and they did really well. Bishop, good damage there. Kev Falcon's a good damage. I think GC's a flex as well, so they got a lot of DPS potential, a lot of tank potential as well. And then Fluffy, one of the Koalix, one of the best supports in the region, let alone on Xbox. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well they do going forward too, and I hope that they make the league as well. At number 6 is OTP from the EU region. I think OTP honestly has the best tank duo. I know a lot of teams are running solo tanks right now, and then they have a guy who can flex from tank or DPS, some near that. But I think that OTP has the best tank duo in the Xbox EU region. They can even contend, possibly even the best across all of Xbox. I think Naiju and Ninja Zen are very, very, very talented players, mechanically, game sense wise as well. I think that's the French squad too, but they just meld together, or I'm sorry, mold together so well. Those two tanks, they know how to play with each other and around each other. So that's just perfect for their team. They also have LZ Legends Tikans, I think, or Tikans, Suki Le Sushi, and Badge Tiger. Badge Tiger, one of the top supports in the region as well. Good support on that. Haven't really seen the other three play, so I can't really comment on them as much. So yeah, OTP at number 6. At number 7 is Xbox Team. Xbox Team surprised me. They put a little bit of people in there that I do know. Gpan Velocity, OCFB. Other than that, I don't know their other three players. Too Damn Savage, Too Damn Sneaky, and Sword of Avawol. I can't really pronounce that. I'm sorry. I don't watch anime. I don't play any games. I just play Paladins. I'm so sorry if I get your names wrong. Anybody, ever. I'm sorry. But I think that's a really good lineup. I've seen GPAN and OCFB play before, and I was really amazed by how they played specifically. So I'd like to see them moving forward. So, Xbox Team came in 4th. They're the 7th in the power rankings for Xbox. At number 8 is Need Healing. That's an EU team as well. Need Healing is actually a really good team on paper. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they will do in week 2, which is, besides OTP and My Dad Cuts My Hair, I'm looking at Need Healing specifically. The reason why is because they have Bizjop, very good player. Slaya, really good tank. Above them, really good damage. Tylo, he's a new and up-and-coming player. He actually messaged me the other day talking about, some things and some concerns that he had about the community, the scene, and his, the team, his own gameplay, stuff of that matter. And I appreciate him for doing that. I did message him back. I hope that my advice helped him. And that goes for anybody else. If you have any questions or concerns or anything, you can always reach out to me on Twitter or in my email. But I really like this lineup. The 5th guy that they have is actually someone that I've seen play for a very long time. His name is Smutney. Smutney was originally on PC as a support main. Then he came and played tank for PS4 EU on the old Burrito Squad with Legacy. And then he moved back to PC. And during the Spring LAN, he was actually at the Spring LAN for the PC team, Cryptic, as their support. And I guess he's back on console and he's on Xbox playing support again. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Smutney back on console, one of the better players from back in the day. Bizjop, Slaya, above them, Tylo, all good players for all potential in that team. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Need Healing can do. Well, that's your PS4 and Xbox top 8 power rankings for the end of week 1's PCL qualifiers.